Good morning. It's about 9 o'clock Saturday morning, and I thought I'd work on a couple things on the Ranger. I've been trying to work on the LED light on the front. I took the LED lights off the old bumper, and they were almost all ripped off, and I've assembled them back together, straightened out the brackets, and I've put this LED light back on the Ranger right there, a big one. It's not lit up, that's just the sun bouncing off it. And I'm trying to figure out how the wiring goes. So I found a problem, I'll show you. Okay, like I said, that just looks like the sun's bouncing off it, but it's really not on. Okay, so I put the brackets back together, reassembled everything back on there, and then the wires, I ran the wires out of the light bar down, up underneath, up into here, and here they are. So these wires go back to this relay. Okay, all this relay does is send power down to these wires to light up the light bar. But the relay operates in such a fashion that there's a positive lead with a fuse. Okay, that's the positive lead. So we'll connect that up to the positive. We'll just test to make sure the light bar comes on. And then there's a negative on the switch or the relay. So I've already hooked that to ground. And then there's this lone white wire. That's the key. That lone white wire triggers that relay to flip and then send power to those lines out to the LED bar. So this guy, ideally you want to connect it to a switch inside. And there's a couple switches. One looks like an aftermarket, and then factory it comes with a front light bar and a rear light bar. So we'll take a look at that in a second, but let's connect to this and see if the light bar comes on. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is get a little jumper wire, connect it right there. So take this little jumper, we'll connect to the power, we'll hear the switch kick. Okay, switch relay switched. Voila, we have light bar on. Okay, so we know that this relay works, and all we have to do is switch power to this white wire. Well, inside the Ranger factory, this thing comes with a couple switches in here, not connected to anything, and I pulled them out because they're not connected to anything. And this one says front light bar, and that one says rear light bar. So I trace this wire and it comes all the way up the post and then comes up here and comes right here. And it looks like someone had run a white wire, which I have laying down, around and about and out the dash and out the grommet. I want to use this top switch that says front light bar, which has a wire running up to the ceiling, probably for an overhead ceiling light or a ceiling light bar. Ideally, I want to use this front LED bar switch to turn on the front LED lights. But the problem is, when I switch that over, no power comes up there. I've checked the voltage back there and it's correct. It's 12 volts across these two, but 12 volts never makes it down to this one, and that's the one that needs it. So I've swapped the switches with the bottom, I've swapped the wires, and it works when I not swap the switches, but I swap the wires up underneath here. Here's the rear, I've got that disconnected. Here's the front. If I swap those, then that switch starts working. So something on the other end or somewhere in these wires is a problem. So I looked online, and the first thing people mentioned was the fuse box in the back seat. I've checked all those. I do not see any problems, but obviously somewhere there's a problem. There's a fuse there's a loose wire, there's something. So I'm debating whether I connect it to the rear LED light because I have a aftermarket switch that someone installed, not sure who, probably the previous owner. Have an aftermarket light bar switch right there that goes to some other possibilities. They could be for the rear if I wanted them to. So I don't know. I'm gonna think on it, noodle on it, try to troubleshoot this a little bit more. But if anyone has any ideas, let me know, because I cannot find a fuse or anything anywhere that is controlling this top switch. But I'm gonna keep looking. Okay, for the time being, I think I'm just gonna hook it to the second switch, even though I know that sends power to the rear wires. I'm gonna tie into that for now and look up the wiring diagrams and see if I can figure out what that might be. Here's a quick peek underneath the dash if you want to see what that looks like. Here's the main control, and then underneath that there are a whole bunch of wires. They're pretty well labeled, so that's nice, but it's always nice to see what's underneath there. Alright, I did the right thing and ran the white wire to the wrong switch, but let's see if that works. Just temporarily to give us some time to put the dash back together and stuff. Just temporarily. Okay, let's turn on the key. Got everything tore apart, as you can see. Okay, we wired it to this bottom switch, so if we turn that on, we theoretically should have a light bar. Yeah, we would if I connected the white wire right there. Let me turn that off. Connect the white wire, and then we'll try it. Turn on that switch. I didn't hear anything. Oh, yep. We have LED light. Really bright LED light. Okay. So we know it works. We just got to figure out why that top switch isn't working. Okay, we'll shut it off. Should be off. Yep, it's off. Okay, so I need to look up the wiring diagrams and figure out where that top switch may be having a problem. But in the meantime, we'll just leave it on the bottom switch. Then we'll go from there. All right, one of the other things I wanted to do was stop this crack. So there's a crack here, there's a double crack here, crack all the way up there, and a bunch over there. So I ordered a drill bit and some resin off the internet. So I'm going to try to stop this crack. I already tried with some other bits that I bought, but they didn't work. So I'm going to try the drill ahead of this one, and then we'll try to put some resin in, see if we can stop that crack for good. I'm not a professional window repair guy. Well, that bit worked a lot better. That worked great. Went through the first layer and then not through the second layer. So, I can fill that in. I'm going to see if there's any other places I want to drill. Here's what I used last time. And the trick was to get these suctions sucked down so you can put quite a bit of pressure but still be able to move it. Some fancy glass repair resin. This is what I bought. There's a lot in here. And that's good because since I don't know what I'm doing, I waste some. Okay, I've taken a long time, hopefully not too long, but I've pulled it out in the sun to see if it can cure. All right, while the windshield's sitting out in the UV light, I want to work on this. This is the windshield wiper motor and stuff that I ordered in, and apparently the mirror mounts here. So I think instead of just guessing, I'm going to take this top off, and inside here I see a couple maybe mount points. So I think that's where I'm going to mount the aftermarket mirror I bought. So what that'll do is that'll essentially go right there, and then I'll mount my mirror to it. Okay, we're going to make these our mount points. Okay, that drilled through the other side. So now there's 2 holes there. I'm going to put all 4, but I want to make sure everything mounts up first. See if these guys go down in there. Okay, just walked out to the garage. It's after work. I'm gonna mow the lawns, but thought I'd walk in here and show you what I've done with the mirror. I realized that the mirror bracket was not gonna work the way I had it. I had it flipped it down, mounted. So I've been test fitting it and it's not gonna work. So this is what I have now. I have bent that so it'll mount up. Okay, I waited for it to cool down a little bit. I mowed the lawn and stuff. So it is 9 o'clock at night now. Let's see if we can throw this mirror on. Tight. Okay, don't have that all tightened up, but let's test fit it. Hey, if I knew you could pop that plastic off, I would have done that already. Didn't know it popped off. Alright, let's see if it works. Okay, let's see what it does. Well, I've got it adjusted for the driver. I'll leave it there for a little bit. See what this squirter does. Hey, the squirter works too. The windshield wiper works, and bonus, oh, I turned on the LED light bar. That's bright. It's morning time. I thought I'd better show you guys what the mirror and all that system looks like in the light, since I did it in the dark. So let's look. Alrighty, here's what it looks like in the daylight. You can see the windshield wiper motor housing and the mirror and the bracket I put up on there. I used the bracket that came with this mirror and I just manipulated it around and it fits just fine. Here's what the windshield wiper turned out. I think I'm gonna order the top this week, button some of this stuff up. Thanks for watching.